Hello, everybody. Welcome to Refuse to Lose. My name is Joe Jordan. I am your host. And before we get into this awesome topic we're about to go over, please like this video and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And once you subscribe, just put in the comment section that you have subscribed, and I will try my best to respond to the comment. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of the episode.
I refuse to lose. I'd rather get these weak dudes the blues and separate them from their Jews. Teach them don'ts and do's. I raise tools, make crews, make decisions confused.
So a few days ago, ESPN came out with a ranking on the top QBs going into the 21-22 season. Now, the list they have, I want to read them to you real quick. So at number 1, they have Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, they have Aaron Rodgers. Number 3, they have Russell Wilson. Number 4, they have Josh Allen. Number 5, they have Dak Prescott. And number 6, they have Tom Brady. Now, I do not agree with that list ESPN came up with. I believe most of the power ranking lists that ESPN comes with doesn't make any sense. You look at the NBA, the NFL, no matter what sport it is, most of the times it's not right. So I'm going to tell you my top 5 QBs going into the 21-22 season based off what they will do, not based off what they did in the past. But of course, what they did in the past kind of has something to do with what they might do in the future. So we're going to start off with number 5. My number 5 person on this list, I'm only going to do my top 5. I'm not going to do top 6, but top 5. So my number 5 person on this list is Russell Wilson. I believe Russell Wilson could be much higher on this list, but me personally, I'm going to keep him my number 5. So let's first talk about his weapons. Now, he has DK Metcalf. Now, DK Metcalf had a great season last year. I believe that he would do much better this year. He'll have an improved season this year coming up. Then you have Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett might be Russell Wilson's favorite receiver because they have a lot of great chemistry together. They have years together. And if you watch the Seahawks consistently, Tyler Lockett showed flashes when he could be a number 1 receiver. So I like those 2 weapons for Russell Wilson. And also, his name was slain last year. I remember last year he started off the Seahawks started off 5-0, and Russell Wilson was on a tear, and he was the front runner for MVP. But then he went through a mini drought, not a lot of games, but just a few games when he threw a lot of interceptions, and then his MVP stock went down. But people don't remember his last 7 games in the season, the Seahawks went 6-1. Russell Wilson threw 12 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Plus, they had a 22nd ranked defense in the league. They had a terrible defense. Right, so I believe Russell Wilson will have a bounce back season this year. Now, even though they had a great season last year, but I believe he'll bounce back. And plus, also the reason why I have my 5 and not a little bit higher because his playoff performance. When they play against the Rams, even though the Rams are the number 1 defense in the league, right? Russell Wilson could have played much better. And now I know he threw 2 interceptions. I believe those 2 interceptions doesn't really describe the game because one of those interceptions was off a screen, which is a great play by the cornerback. And then the second interception came off of a 3rd and 24 play. So, I mean, either way, it's going to be a punt. So I'm not saying he had a terrible game, but he could have played much better in that playoff game. So I want to keep Russell Wilson at number 5. Now, my number 4 person is Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen number 4. I believe Josh Allen has the potential to be most valuable player this year, right? Josh Allen is a great quarterback. He improved drastically towards the end of the season. So let's talk about his weapons. He has Stephon Diggs, who's also a Pro Bowl receiver. He's a Pro Bowl receiver. He's proven, and I believe he'll have a repeated season this year also. I believe he'll be another a Pro Bowler this year also. And then you have Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley is a reliable slot receiver. Now, Cole Beasley with the Cowboys, he was reliable. Went to the Buffalo Bills, played even better. He's reliable. And I believe this year he will repeat that what he did last year, and probably even better. And then they added Emmanuel Sanders to the wide receiver core, what I believe is a great pickup for the Buffalo Bills. What it does is buffer up that receiving core, and it gives more options for Josh Allen. And you look at the reason why I think Josh Allen will have a great season is because their running game has not improved. They were terrible last year in the run. They relied heavily on Josh Allen to make plays and scramble out of the pocket and just create things out of nothing. And most likely they're going to repeat that this year because they haven't done anything today to their running back position. They have the same running backs from last year. They haven't improved at all. So I have no reason to believe that they will improve in the running back position. So I believe because of that, Josh Allen will have more opportunities. They will lay heavily on Josh Allen. So therefore, his numbers would be great. And then you look at the last stretch of the season last year. Josh Allen ended the season, right? Last 10 games of the season, 9-1, guys. 9-1. And in those last 10 games, he threw 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So Josh Allen is proven he did great in the playoffs also. So I believe he'll repeat that this season. And that's why I have him at number 4. Now, my number 3 person is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is not the 6th best quarterback in the league. Tom Brady is a 3rd. And he will, this year, I believe he will finish as a 3rd best quarterback in the league. Now, let me tell you why. Let's talk about his weapons. I believe Tom Brady has the best weapons in the NFL. His weapons are similar to the weapons Peyton Manning had with the Broncos. So let me tell you how great these receivers are and tight ends. So let's look at the receiving core. You have Mike Evans, who's a Pro Bowl receiver, really. You have Chris Godwin, who's also a Pro Bowl receiver, really. Chris Godwin, when the season started, when Tom Brady showed up last year, Pro Football Focus rated Chris Godwin as the number 1 best receiver in the league last year. So Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are 2 Pro Bowl receivers. And in my opinion, their 3rd quote-unquote receiver is Antonio Brown, which I believe he's the best receiver on that team. The thing is, Antonio Brown joined the team midway through the season without playing a full year. So he had to get his legs back. He had to get used to the rhythm of the game and things like that. Now he has a half a season plus a playoffs in his belt. Coming to the Buccaneers with a full training camp, full off season. So I believe Antonio Brown will bounce back. He might not be the Antonio Brown that we know him as in Pittsburgh, but he will be close to that. And that will still make him the best receiver on that team, but they're going to still use him in the slot as a 3rd receiver. And then you look at also Scotty Miller. I believe Scotty Miller is a mini Wes Welker. And you know how Wes Welker was with Tom Brady. And Scotty Miller reminds me of Wes Welker. Scotty Miller is a great slot receiver also. He's a great deep threat also. He's another weapon that they can use, and the great thing about having all these weapons, there's not going to be a lot of double coverage on the field. So that's why the receiving core is awesome. And then not even mentioning the tight end position. If you look at the tight end position, they have Gronkowski, who Gronkowski was heavily relied on in New England, but with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's not relied on at all. He's kind of like a bonus, right? Sometimes if you watch the games, Gronk gets unnoticed because you have a lot of attention going towards Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. But now with Gronk could be that player who could be a big player here and there. He doesn't have to be a guy that got to be consistent on a weekly basis to be your best player, but he would show flashes here and there. He would show up when he needs to. And then you had Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate played a great season last year alongside Gronkowski, and O.J. Howard is back. He was hurt last year. He's back. So they have 3 decent tight ends. They have a great receiver core. They have decent running backs, and then you have Tom Brady behind that, right? So I believe that the Buccaneers are going to have a great offense this year. Then you look at Tom Brady last year. Tom Brady last year, he was 3rd in passing yards last year and 2nd in TDs with 40. He threw 40 touchdowns last year, and that's not having O.J. Howard, and that's not having Antonio Brown for a full season. So I believe Tom Brady is a 3rd best quarterback going into this year. The only reason why I believe people are discounting Tom Brady is because his age, I believe. I'm not sure, but whenever we do that, he proves us wrong. So guys, this is make more sense and give us some great rankings that make actual sense. Okay, so we have the top 2 now. Now, the top 2, obviously, I'm pretty sure you guys understand who I have at the top 2. Now, at number 2, finishing the season, I believe will be the 2nd best quarterback. I believe will be Aaron Rodgers. Now, we look at Aaron Rodgers' receiving core. Let's look at this. Aaron Rodgers, he has Devontae Adams, who I believe is the best receiver in the league right now. He actually proved that last year. Right. He also have Lazard. Lazard, he's a decent receiver. Right. They brought Randall Cobb back, which I believe was a good pickup. Him and Aaron Rodgers have some chemistry right there. And then you have Amari Rodgers. I think Amari Rodgers is going to have an okay year. Not saying he's going to be a star, but he'll be a great addition to that team. A wide receiver from Clemson. I believe he'll be a good addition to that. And then Aaron Rodgers was an MVP last season. Also, and then think about how he ended the season. Now, you got to look at that. People, you can't just look at the entire season. You got to look at the last stretch of the season, how they ended the season. The last 9 games, Aaron Rodgers' team went 8-1. He threw 28 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I'm going to repeat that. They went 8-1 in the last 9 games. Aaron Rodgers threw 28 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the last 9 games. So he ended the season great. Now, of course, he lost Tom Brady in the NFC Championship and everything like that. But I believe, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a bounce back year. So that's why I have him at number 2, because of the great things he's done with the receiving core he had last year. And I believe his receiving core is better this year. So that's why I think Aaron Rodgers will be the number 2 quarterback going forward. So my number 1 QB going into the 21-22 season, I believe is unanimous. If you do not have this QB as your number 1 person going into the season, you're either biased because you have a favorite player or a team, or you just a hater. You just don't like this guy. So the number 1 person going to the 21-22 NFL season is Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's talk about his receiving core, because he has a decent receiving core also, kind of similar to the Buccaneers. Obviously not as good as the Buccaneers, but similar. It has a lot of talent on it. You have Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is the biggest deep threat in the NFL right now, right? At any second, he can go bounce away. Then you got Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman is also a deep threat. He's also good with screens. He's a very versatile receiver, right? He's on kickoff returns, XYZ, right? So Mecole Hardman is also another reliable receiver too, had like chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. Then he has the best tight end in the game right now, Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is probably one of the best receivers, forget tight end, in the league. So Travis Kelce is a mismatch. Whatever opponent they go against, Travis Kelce always has a mismatch. And you can't put a lot of attention on Travis Kelce because you got those 2 gunners on the outside, Mecole Hardman and Tyreek Hill. So that's why Patrick Mahomes, his offense is going to be lethal, like always. Also, Patrick Mahomes played 15 games last season, only lost 1 game. Right? If you include the playoffs, he only lost 2 games. Obviously, in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, but we all know their offensive line was depleted. And against the Las Vegas Raiders, they lost that game. All right. So I believe Patrick Mahomes will be great also because the Kansas City Chiefs, they had addressed the issue they had in the Super Bowl, which was the offensive line. Let me just run through it real quick. What they did is offseason. They added Joe Thuney, Kyle Long, Austin Blythe, and Orlando Brown Jr. Now, I believe if you look at the league's offensive line, I believe the Kansas City Chiefs will finish the year with the top 3 offensive line. And so you give the most talented quarterback in the NFL, him and Aaron Rodgers could be a toss-up, but one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL with the best deep threat in the NFL, with the best tight end in the NFL, plus with one of the top 3 offensive lines in the NFL, what do you think is going to happen? So I believe Patrick Mahomes is clearly undisputed number 1 person going into the 21-22 season. Thank you for staying to the end. If you like what you heard today, please like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you dislike what you heard today, please still like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And put in the comment section what you agree or disagree about this video. I love to talk about it, so definitely send it in the comments. Also, hit the notification button so you can see the next time and you will be notified when I drop my next video. Otherwise, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next episode.
I refuse to lose, I'd rather get these weak dudes the blues and separate them from their Jews, teach them don'ts and do's. I raise tools, make crews, make decisions confused.